break in the fighting, Ivan starts to rain down lightning at one of the bridge's supports further ahead. Dredge respond with confusion, shuffling away from the area. Then the Varl notice. "What are you doing?" shouts Vasalt. Several more Varl join him. Ivan is locked on his task, another lightning strike sending rubble into the air. "Stop!" shouts Vasalt, drawing his weapon. The others follow suit, ready to attack. "We're gonna defend Stay close," you tell the others, drawing your axe. Aletta is shaking so hard that you can see it from a distance. With a shout, Vasalt attacks. Dead Varl lie at your feet, their blood on your hands. You're pulled from your creeping revulsion by a thunderous crack, and suddenly Ivan is rushing past. "Run!" he screams. The stonework crumbles behind you, and the other Varl flee for your lives as the bridge collapses around itself into the deep abyss beneath. The dredge who have not been taken with it scramble over each other to outrun the collapse. When the dust and snow clears, you can see a yawning gulf between you and the dredge. They won't be crossing it soon, or they won't be crossing it again. Rough hands from the screaming mob of Varl pull you from the ground to the Great Hall. Obviously, they're not happy that we knocked the thing down, but it is what it is. "Was there not just one thing I demanded from you?" Drender launches from his throne, pointing an axe in your direction. "You've broken this alliance, human. Man and Varl are no friend to each other anymore. This is my reward for allowing men into Einatroft. Do not blame all of humanity for my..." There is a bustle from the back of the hall. The Varl part around a shadowed figure entering the room. "Drunder, enough. This fight could not have been won. They did what you were unwilling to do. Enough of this insolence. I want these people out of my city. You'd gladly let our whole race die? There is nothing glad about it. There are no more Varl being made tomorrow or 1,000 years from now. We are all there is, and we will all be gone someday. You've destroyed what we have made. What else is left of us? Will we leave no trace behind, as if we never existed? We have nothing left but ruins. Now get out of what is left of my lands and my city, and never return." The guards pull you roughly from the great hall where your caravan has been hastily gathered together. You drink some water. So obviously that didn't go well. I mean, we did save them from all dying, but obviously that doesn't mean much. Let's actually camp quick and see if I can readjust my team a little bit more. Because obviously we need to rest a little bit after all of that. As of now, I mean, it's just working our way towards that city with the one chick. Alright, harsh words from one mother to another draw the attention of the entire caravan. My daughter marries Ragni and no one else. That reed-thin tramp you call a daughter won't provide sons. The insulted mother bares her teeth, ready to attack. You know what? I'm gonna give you a chance. Turn your back on the woman, encouraging others to do the same. The shouting eventually dies down, but the unease in camps persists. Probably should have said something. I do like the setting, though. I mean, obviously it's pretty basic looks, you know, for that, but the environment's nice. The caravan consists of more clansmen than you ever expected. Acquisitions of stolen chickens, missing heirlooms, and concerns over daughters' virtues are the sort of things you hear relentlessly. Even fighters complain of spreading too thin to protect everyone. Let's try to address the major issues. Animals are now split evenly amongst the caravan, you say, and everyone will maintain closer quarters to minimize the effort of our fighters. Most everyone have trouble adjusting to the edicts, but overall the issues become less petty. Every now and then those the writing doesn't match up right. It appears that large figures following from the direction of Einertoft. Odd watches intently before finally saying, "They have a cart, I can hear it." You slow to get a better view and spy a small caravan of Varl. Eventually they catch up. Are we gonna get some friends? Ooh, greetings, Ivar. It's been quite a while since we talked, hasn't it? I know you. Ubin? Never imagined you'd be the one to defy the king. What made you leave? Someone had to. What do you mean? Bellower is heading this way. Already? How is that possible? A group of Varl from Wormtoe showed up around the back of Einertoft, a long way. Bellower and his army chased them across the summer path, they said. Past Wormtoe? That doesn't make sense. Bellower was at the bridge. He must have doubled back after that serpent appeared. While we fought on the bridge, he led half his forces around to approach Einertoft from behind. The attack on the bridge was a feint? Don't let anyone tell you the Dredge aren't clever. Einertoft will fall within a day. Maybe not. He's following you. I thought one of you might know why. You exchange nervous glances, but nobody speaks up. Must be me, then. Is there something I don't know? That's quite a grudge he's holding if he's coming for you, Ivar. Doesn't matter. Our only chance is to get to Sigerholm. Juno will know what to do. We'll join you. I bring supplies and warriors, and my friend Gunnulf here bears a heavy sword. I believe he'd be happy to swing it for you. Alright, well at least I get some new people, even though I just kind of worked out my fighters, so yeah. So, sitting at 13 days of supplies, at least normal morale. I still feel like I might want to go and bump that up a little bit more. Caravan stops at a split in the road. Ahead, the path leading to Sigerholm veers off into the hills, which are now swimming with familiar black shapes. Dredge that way too? Grimaces Ivan. The summer path leads straight to Sigerholm, while taking the main road will add several days. They're every way by now, replies Zubin. I suggest we go around, past Haustorp. Let's go ahead and let's go around on this one. I think we're okay on supplies for at least a little bit, but yeah. Hate to say it, you tell Ivan, but I'm not willing to walk into swarms with Dredge anymore. Juno will have to wait. You turn towards the long road around Hoxtorp instead, hoping you save lives in the process. He's got 5 renown for what it's worth. It's enough to level. I'm going to try to level. And we'll rest again just to kind of bump up morale. Hopefully that helps. Oh, we got this too. Don't talk much, do you? You approach the massive green-clad Varro, who is sitting quietly by himself, eating bread. So? Just wanted to know anyone who can cleave Dredge in two like that a little better. I'm Rook. What to know? Ubin asked me to chop a Dredge in two. I chop him. Traveled with Ubin for long? Yes, long time. When I was young, I'd fight for another Varl. It did not work out. But I learned to swing a sword. Ubin pays well, gives me plenty of things to kill. To be honest, maybe too many things these days. You like that sword, huh? No, I love this sword. Given to me by an old Skymer himself. When I start working for Ubin, he says, I protect the king's collection. I protect the king. Gunnulf makes an expression somewhere between pain and frustration. I couldn't save it, though. He makes a hand motion like an object falling from a tall height and exploding. It mattered a lot at the time. I think it doesn't matter now. Skymer is dead anyway. I'll let you finish your meal. Want to be friends with Gunnulf, Rook? He pops the last hunk of bread into his mouth. Keep food in the cart. Well, I guess we all know how to make him happy then. So I'm thinking this is where we need to go. We'll see. There's times like these where it's so quiet that I feel like it needs more music. A flurry of snowfall seems to come out of nowhere and quickly thickens until you are unable to see the man in front of you. You shout out a complete halt, but the screaming winds drown out the sound. A day passes before the blizzard abates and clansmen start to reappear from the snowdrifts. It quickly becomes apparent that not everybody is where you last saw them, and a quick search of the area is not enough to recover all the missing clansmen. Let's go ahead and make a thorough search. We'll see what happens. It takes time to establish proper search teams, but you devise a way to quickly cover as much ground as possible. After a full day of searching, you find many survivors, but your successes are dampened by a number of frozen bodies and others who have simply vanished. Disheartened, you return to travel. You enter a village of miners who want to know what has been happening recently between the rumblings of the quake and sightings of dredge in the distance. As you look around, you see a lot of elderly and children, and know that these people will only be more mouths to feed. I'm sitting at 8. Kind of thinking that I need to leave them. Most of them are probably just going to end up being a burden, but don't expand the caravan further. The words stick in your throat when you tell the townspeople you won't be able to take any more into the caravan. They look disappointed but understand, planning to hold out as long as they can. I mean, if you guys were fighters, maybe. But I just can't. So we got dodge, strength, will. Okay, I just need to dump everything I can into supplies. So I get another 20 days worth. Something. Let's go ahead and dip out. Look at that, shouts one of your clansmen. The caravan stops to watch dredge pooling into the village you've just passed through. I hope anyone who stayed behind got out alive, says Alette, but you have your doubts. They're coming, says Ivar, pointing out a line of dredge leaving the village and marching towards you. As you watch, the dredge in front falls over. Then the one behind it falls as well. You hear it twang to your left. Nid, the archery student of Oddlift's, who you recall deftly shooting a snow rabbit, is firing arrows down the hill. Another dredge topples. That's incredible, says Odd, squinting. But we should get out of here. Hold on, let her do a few more. Honestly, you're doing great, but we should probably dip out. But why don't you come with us the next time you want to try out that bow, you tell Nid, who nods, a smile on her face. Honestly, if she's that good with it, if she's able, like, especially if she's able to kill somebody with like 1 or 2 shots, that's amazing. Obviously, gameplay-wise, it's not going to work that way, because any of the characters are amazing in the story and then horrible in actual gameplay, but that'd be nice. A mother's screams fill the caravan. Her daughter lies dead in a tent. We all know who did this, she spits, staring directly at the woman she scuffled with previously. Murder over a marriage in these times? Something must be done. The accused woman remains silent. Investigate the death. A healer joins you in inspecting the young girl's corpse. An old infection, says the healer. No punctures, no choking, no poisons. She died of a disease. You report the news to the caravan. The mother admits that she had always known her daughter was ill, and everyone moves on. She a bitch. God, I'm only sitting at like 18 days worth. I mean, I think I'm still fine on supplies. I'm probably going to end up using like 5 or 6 by the time I get to the city, but I'm always worried about that. How much it's going to screw me once I end up running out of them. Some music. I like how these are actually lining up. Yeah, that music though. Music. The Godstone of Dundra passes around you. In the frozen climates here, it looks like the rock has split and is falling apart, held together only by the deep snow. Curiously, when standing between the stones, the wind drops off completely, picking up again once you've passed through. I almost wonder if we should rest here for the night, says Ivar, who seems to have noticed the same thing. With all the snow around it, Dredge might not even be able to find us. Let's stay here. We walk around camp before settling in. Along each strand of Dunder's massive beard is carved a different part of the story, and you turn your head to and fro to read it. While the Loom Mother was the first to create, she soon found a counterpart in Dunder, who embodied her ideals in a masculine form. Dunder took some of her creations, gave them beards, and showed them the secrets of smithing, though many remember him just as fondly for teaching them games and songs of mirth. As the camp settles in, you notice a group of boys huddled around something. They show you an offering box, carved into the godstone itself. The box is an elaborate construction of interlocking pieces, which slide around when touched. We can't get it open, they tell you. It's like a puzzle. Try to open it. The boys take turns working out the puzzle and give you tips when it's your turn. Though you don't seem to make much progress, eventually they leave to sleep until it's just you and a couple of other determined youngsters. Keep working. It's hard to know how long you spent sliding around the smooth puzzle pieces, but when people begin emerging from their tents, you know you're in trouble. Exhausted from a long, sleepless night, worse still, the box remains closed as you shuffle wearily along with the leaving caravan. Fine. I was really hoping I'd find something in that. That's the thing, there's always those things where it's like you get the small little, like, you do something, you talk to somebody, and then you get a nice item. Someone's been nicking extra goods from the supplies, a concerned woman tells you. Counted these myself yesterday, no mistake. This keeps up, we'll all be starving before long. Leave it to everybody else. Let's post a few extra guards. To deter any further theft, you discreetly place some trusted guards by the caravans. You hear a few people casually point out the extra manpower, but nobody seems to raise an alarm for now. Alright, so in the distance, Hoxtorp smolders like an old campfire. Even from here, you can see black figures shambling through it. That looks like a dead town, remarks Ivor, confirming your impressions. There's usually survivors, Odd reminds you. Wonder if I would have just went straight through if I would have got there in time. Let's check it out. I hope others would do the same for me. Dredge or nothing we haven't faced before. Ivor grunts, but otherwise says nothing. Besides, it might throw Bellower off the scent a bit. You head a day's march out towards Hoxtorp. As soon as you've stepped foot in the small town, you think you've made a mistake. It's thoroughly littered with corpses. Within moments, the dredge are upon you as though you stirred up an angry hornet's nest. You draw your weapons. This town is nothing but ghosts, and now covered in more dredge bodies, too. Remarkably, as you're about to leave town, you find an old man sitting quietly in a tattered market stall, with a couple items in front of him. He hums to himself as if nothing were wrong and seems to be in shock. Your clansmen gather him into the caravan before you leave. I don't know if we've ever spoken. I'm Nid, your rook, I know. We've actually been traveling together for a long time. Isn't it strange how you can be so close to people and not know them? Truth. Every day I pass people I swear I've never seen before. I wanted to thank you for letting me join you. Have you always been such a good shot? Honestly, I'd never even tried before Odd made me. I spent my whole life making clothes, cleaning. On's good, but I don't think it was all her doing. It feels right. I just look where I want it to go. Anyway, I feel better. The caravan, the people worrying all day and making problems, sometimes they really stew in their misery. I'm glad I can do something helpful. Where are you from? I don't think you're from Skogr. I knew most of the people there. No, I had a house in Frostfeller, but we were driven out when the dredge started to show up. My husband died trying to protect our home. My sons and I were thrown out into the fields. I'm sorry. Eccle's men killed my husband. Now Eccles is traveling with us. For a long time I was angry. Why did he get to live? Why did you decide for the rest of us? You look away momentarily, not sure what to say, but I've let it go. I have 3 sons, and I don't want them to grow up with hatred in their hearts. That's why I wanted to thank you. You're welcome. I should be going. Don't think of it. We all have our own problems to deal with. Let me know if you need me to put an arrow in something. She returns to her tent, where her boys are waiting for her. You notice most of the Varl pacing while others sleep. Their brief conversations with each other and other clansmen grow shorter and sharper. Go away, roars one Varl at a young woman asking him too many questions. All the clansmen stop and stare. I'm impressed you kept it together this long. The Varl's embarrassment slowly morphs into irritation. We endure many pains, he says, sneering at the gawking crowd. As he stalks off, the crowd murmurs common insults about the giants. Not where I was wanting to go with that, but sure. I think it's like, stop being dicks to each other. You're all fighting to not die. That face on the rock, though. Kind of wonder what the gods are actually going to end up turning into in this game. Because obviously they're putting such a huge emphasis on it. The Godstone for Ingrid, goddess of knowledge, looks on as the caravan takes a much-needed rest. Ivor shoos some children away from a solitary dredge slinger lying dead beneath the stone. Should we be worried about that, you ask Ivor, pointing to the dredge body. I don't think so, he replies. Still, couldn't hurt to have a few guards look around. Hours pass without warning. Inspect the Godstone. Ingrid's Godstone is carved with ancient ruins which don't make much sense to you, though Ivan tells you some of the menders have deciphered them. It's how the menders learn the language of the gods. Past the largest stone, a long series of slab contains more writing all the way down the hill. The odd thing, he tells you, is that the writing occasionally changes depending on who is reading it. Usually, it describes the history of the gods, but it can be about nearly any topic. Sadly, Ivan doesn't know how to read it himself. Juno could, he says. Pack up and move on. As you're ready to depart, you hear screams from near the main Godstone. The same boys so curious about the dead dredge before, shrieking and pointing. For a moment, you think it must not have been dead, but then you see that they have opened a wrapping that was in the dredge's hand. Wait, says Ivar, his arm around your chest. This shouldn't be seen. Get everyone away. A chill sweeps over you. Alette pushes past and gasps. Stop, shouts Ivor, but the curious onlookers have already seen it. Oh hell, what this though? Leave it. On the ground before the dead slinger is a small stony figure, its hands searching for something it can't find. That's a baby. That dredge is a woman? Oh, we've been killing women. We've been slaughtering women and children this whole time? Leaving them to die? In a war, in a war, it's only the males who fight. We've been fighting these dredges the whole way. Why are women with children on their backs attacking us? They're not invading, they're running. Everyone stops dead in their tracks. The entire caravan is gathered around, aghast. When I spoke to Juno, she told me something was coming. She didn't know what. A darkness, something black is covering the world, and the dredge are running from it just as we're running from them. The serpent, the quake, it's all the beginning of the end. Ivor, you knew? Why? Why didn't you say something? Ivor? When I was young, I killed one of the Sunder, during the Second Great War. We called it Raise. Every time we would build our defenses, it would flatten them, and push us back again. I became separated from the rest of the Varl, and stumbled upon Raise deep in a snowstorm. Alone, she was nursing. I threw my axe. It twisted in the wind. Her son died in her arms. She was so pathetic, kneeling in the snow. She didn't even try to stop me when I took her head. That's how I killed a Sunder. When I found my way to Grofheim, the Varl wanted to make me Kender, next to be king. I left, walked until I ended up in Skager, where no one knew what I had done. The only sound is the wind blowing through the trees. Well, damn. Obviously, that's a thing, having the fact that, it's not just evil forces, it's like they're people too, and then it starts a whole moral dilemma again. But it is what it is. For a long time, nobody says a thing until a child breaks the silence. What do we do with the baby, she asks. A lump forms in your throat, looking at the small obsidian creature squirming before you. I wonder if we could actually use it for something. As bad as that is. And yeah, gray area. Like, they keep trying to push it. And it's one of those where I feel like a lot of these things are going to be the typical, you did this, at the beginning of the game, so at the end of the game, this matters. Or, hey, say this example. If you keep the baby, maybe, you can trade it off to, somebody so they don't kill you. Or, something like that big old red guy, that was going to just destroy all of us. Maybe we give him the baby and he doesn't kill us. Or if we kill it, maybe they don't know, or maybe we bring it up later. I don't know. That's just the kind of thing where I'm sitting here not really even thinking about, like, right now. I'm thinking about, okay, what's this going to do to us later? I'm worried about if we take it. But I think that we could, like, trade it off later. And that's the thing. We either, like, put it to a vote, probably everybody's just kill it. And this is, we could take it with, and it'll probably cause issues, and people won't trust me, but I'm gonna say put it to a vote and see what everybody decides on. While some grumble about leaving it to chance, the caravan votes pretty clearly in favor of leaving the infant behind. It remains beneath the godstone as the caravan departs. You try to put the whole episode from your mind and focus now on reaching Sigerholm. I guess we go that route.